Hey, this is Akebono Gregory Mondes Jr. This is show number 212, recorded on Sunday, December 6, 2015. We got down to 19 days of Christmas shopping to do, and I just started today. But thanks to Amazon and online ordering, it shouldn't be a problem. I'm going to do one sweep of them all after I can't find what I want to find on Amazon. That's if I can't find it. So we'll see. I mean, I love Christmas. I'm just not big into shopping. It just crowds and everything, but I do like decorations and all that stuff. So we'll get it knocked out. I'm just a procrastinator when it comes to it. So let's jump right into the recap. Got a full show for you guys today. Just get y'all caught up on what's been happening on my edge of the woods here and other edge of the woods, mainly West Virginia. So let's tell you what I've been up to. Been playing a lot of games lately. We've got, or I've gotten bombarded with all these brand new video games that's been coming out to the consoles. Been playing a little bit of Halo 5, Black Ops 3, and Star Wars Battlefront. And I tell you, out of the three, what's impressing me the most is the Star Wars Battlefront. Completely impressive game with the sound, with the graphics. The sound to me is mind-blowing. It's like authentic to the movie. Even the background stuff that you hear is just amazing. And I'm such a Star Wars geek to have them get this down as authentic as they can. It's great. And you know, the DICE, the company who created it, admitted that there's not a whole lot of depth to the game. It's just really a shooter with some missions in it, no campaign or anything. But, you know, that's what's fine. That's what a lot of people want these days. Even on the Black Ops 3, there is a campaign mode, but really haven't been playing it that much, really haven't gotten into it. These kind of games are more or less for the online play. Halo 5 does have a good story to it, or at least I think it does. I'm just starting it, but all the other past Halos had a good campaign to it, and I'm co-oping slowly but surely with a buddy online, and we're gonna get together later tonight and play a little bit. Took my car back to Elder 4 to get the trim fixed on the roof, and had just another great experience again. The service guys there are awesome. So just like the selling process, the service process was also top-notch at Elder Ford. So if you're looking at getting a car, mainly in particular a Ford, because they don't deal with too much of, even in the used car department, something outside of Ford's, great place to go. So let's tell you about West Virginia. I went up there again. The tickets were so cheap, and I'm trying to kind of make up for last year. I missed my cousin's wedding, and just couldn't make it up because of my past employment. So I was able to get up there for a second time in a matter of just a couple months, and it was crazy because when I got picked up, everyone's like, "Weren't you just here?" You know, we're all just laughing and everything. So Thursday, I head off to I took a long weekend, Thursday through Sunday. And I took off for Sanford Airport and just had a little delay at the gate. We actually had to change gates, which was hilarious. Had a delay of flight and everything. I was a little worried about it, but my uncle was just like, don't worry about it. You'll get up here. And I flew into Clarksburg Airport in West Virginia, which is really close to my cousin's house. So I didn't have to fly out to Hagerstown, Maryland, which was about an hour and a half drive away for my uncle to go the opposite way of Morgantown, because it's about an hour and a half from his house to get to Morgantown. Well, Clarksburg's probably about 20, 30 minutes just south of Morgantown. So I flew in there, and they picked me up, and, you know, like I said, it's good to see everyone, and we all joked about it. Felt like I was just there. A little cool, but I tell you what, felt so good. Oh, and then real quick, before coming into landing, just before final, beautiful sunset, like a red sun. I mean, like the sky was dark, but this red sun, the sun really wasn't lighting up the sky per se, but maybe because it's just at the angle we were at. Just never seen that before, where the sun is still out, but the sky is dark, and it was red. Just absolutely beautiful. Got pictures posted on that out on my Facebook. And I stopped off at Meager's Irish Pub for dinner, and I had to put the fish and chips to the test, and they did have Sam Adams Oktoberfest on tap, so I was really, really happy. So we did that, and then got back to the cabin, and the plan is to pretty much hang with my cousin and his wife at the at the park cabin where he stays, and wasn't sure if we're going to make it into Kaiser or not. We talked about it, but then we just pretty much chilled out, and I popped out a couple of the video games that I brought along so my cousin can try, and just chilled out that night. And then Friday, I got up early and I put on some cold weather gear and used my running tights, something I rarely get to use. And I ran all the way down to the river. And the thing is that my cousin works he's the superintendent of the Valley Falls State Park, and he has to open up the gate. So he was already up at like 7:30. So there really wasn't any sleeping in. We didn't really drink anyway, so it was no big deal. And I hydrated up a little bit. Luckily, they had a banana, so I had a banana, and it took about 30-40 minutes before I got myself moving just to get myself hydrated up and everything, and did a run down the river. Now, the challenge with this run is the entire run down is downhill to get to the Tigris River, I believe it's what it's called. So the run down was easy, nice and cool weather. I was breathing very well, did some plyometrics as I was down by the river, and then turned around and came back up. And coming back up pretty much turned into a walk, run, and an occasional sprint. Holy cow, was that challenging. And then when I got back, my cousin looks up at the map, and he said, well, you had about a 700 feet change in elevation. So yeah, plus you're not used to the cold, plus you're not used to mountain running. So I was pretty much feeling it in the legs. So we pretty much just had a lazy morning. We played some Xbox, we played some Black Ops, and he put it in hardcore mode, which I haven't played yet because I just bought the game. It was funny, as he was playing, as I was watching, he was ranking up faster than I was because, like I said, I had only had time to play it like once before I took off for the trip. And then he showed me the WWE network. So we popped around and watched other old pay-per-views like WrestleMania 6 and popped in other things. What's really cool about wrestling is that the WWE network is that you can watch every single pay-per-view that's available out there. So I had a good time messing around with that. And then we finally got up and moved around a little bit, and we went to this store called the Mountaineer World. And if you are a West Virginia Mountaineer fan, as myself, you could go absolutely nuts in this place. So I picked up just a few items, got something for my girlfriend, and got myself a cup and a shirt. And those 3 items came out to like $96. So I was like, let's leave here before I spend too much money. I mean, I'm already spending a lot of money. Three things cost $96. And then we went to the mall, and I was going to just get lunch there and hang out a little bit. And my uncle and I decided to get Asian food, and it turned out to be just a little over a $30 tab just for lunch. And my uncle's like, "You sure about that?" And she goes, "Yeah, this, that, and the other thing," because we saw the special. And my math is she was off by about $5, but the lady that was running this place at the food court was I could tell this wasn't a chain place; it was privately owned. So I was like, you know what? It's going to cost a little more for a mom and pop, and the food actually turned out to be pretty good. It was just funny that just for the two of us, for mall lunch food cost a little over $30. It's like, okay. And then we went to another park called Prickett's Fort. Apparently it was an old Indian reservation that they had back in the day. They had to recreate it because it burnt down in a fire at one time or another. But it was really, really cool, just like old colonial kind of thing. As we walked up, there was a teepee out there, and I was getting ready to pop my head in there and check it out, but there were people actually sitting in there having a little powwow, white people on top of that. So that was like, okay, the white people probably getting high in the teepees. I almost wanted to say, you got any peyote in there? And then we walked around the fort, and they had, even though they were getting ready to shut down, like this was like their last day, there wasn't really any people there at all, and there's a blacksmith area and a place where they did knitting, where they took yarn from the actual sheep that they have there, and turned it into, I forgot those grating things that they actually make fabric out of, those old grating things. But either way, that was cool. But a bunch of little craft stuff that they did, showed how the little rooms were for the guys, like a couple bunk beds per se in there. And then we talked to the what I thought was the blacksmith. He was actually cleaning up the place. And we checked out the tourist trap where you can stop in and buy a bunch of souvenirs and stuff. What was hilarious is that I had to pick up a Valley Falls State Park postcard at the Prickett Fort State Park. And the Valley Falls is the name of the park my cousin runs. He doesn't have a gift shop at his at his park, so it was pretty hilarious that I had to go and purchase a card from a different place. He's on deck to probably take over this place if he wants to. The head superintendent out there said in about 5 years he's retiring and would love to hand over the keys to him. And I told my cousin, I was like, I don't know, man. This place looks like a lot more busy than it would be at his other place. I mean, he's busy as heck during the summer at his park, but the rest of the time, it's a pretty easy, no worries style type of park. If he switched over to Prickett's, he'd be definitely a lot more busy. And, they're pouring a lot of money into the house that they're in right now. And I think probably be a good idea to stay put, unless it's some kind of massive raise you can't give up. We'll see. It's up to him, but I had to put in my 2 cents. And then we head into Morgantown and watched the basketball game. They played Northern Kentucky, and they handedly defeated North Kentucky 107-67. Just amazing. But had a good time going to the basketball game. I'm not the biggest hoops fan, but I do enjoy going to a basketball game once in a while. And my uncle's been going there for so long, so he's always pointing out this thing or that thing, some kind of history or everything. And this one was this little history fact, if you want to call it that, was more or less picking on the vendors. He had 2 vendors that are always at the game. One of them he calls Pack Mule, and the other one he calls 40 Cent. Now, Pack Mule, this guy comes down with a trough full of stuff, and then on top of that has one of these old newspaper bags slinged over his back full of more food and drink. I mean, it looks like he's got 60, 70 pounds worth of snacks and drinks in his hand. So he goes down, and my uncle's like, yeah, we call him Pack Mule. And then the other guy, 40 Cent, and this is the one that cracked me up. There is this famous orange, or not orange, I say orange, like a lemon slushy type of drink called Zolls, even though it's spelled Zool. So I call it Zools. But yeah, so the thing with my uncle calling him 40 Cent is for each cup of Zools, whatever we're calling it today, he gets 40 cents of the profit. And he looked like Curly from the Three Stooges with hair. So it's just one of those humorous moments. Maybe you had to be there, but I had a good time laughing about Mr. 40 Cent. And, of course, it's a spinoff of 50 Cent, the rap star. So we wrapped up the game pretty decisively and head over to Varsity Club. And Varsity Club was packed as always, and had to hang out for the bar for a goblet of beer, which, oh my God, twist my arm. I had to go to Varsity Club again, and then we got a table and ate. And enjoyed that as always, and saw the progression of Mountaineer Field with the expansion going on. And, of course, we're going to hit the game on Saturday, but got to see a little preview early of that night. And then we head back to the house and watched ESPN, watched some of the Paris news. That just broke out while I was out there, and then we turned in. So Saturday morning, I got up early because I knew we wanted to head out by 9:30 the latest. We had a nooner game. So I got in a morning run, and it hurt even more. I mean, oh my gosh, did it hurt. But hey, I got my exercise in, right? And it was beautiful. Took some pictures by the river, some selfies, but not selfies using my arm. Set up my little stand on my camera on my phone to take some pictures of me and send off to the girlfriend. And then we showered up and head out to Morgantown, and we got there probably about 10-ish. So I started slamming on the drinks right away, and I got to see my other cousin and her husband and a couple old friends, and I started hitting the drink right away. Did some UV bombs, drank some beer, got some buzz on, and felt good. And they told me to layer up because they said it's possibly going to get cold that day, and they know me being a Florida boy, I can't handle the cold that well. So I probably put on 2 or 3 layers, but I tell you what, didn't need it. The sun was out. It was warm, and I started taking off clothes. Didn't fully get naked, but, because I didn't want to get kicked out of the game and blind people. But so we got into the game, and I was feeling good, and it was hilarious because we're just standing around at the bleachers and watching the warm-ups, and this guy actually asked my cousin to sit down because he wanted to watch the warm-ups. And I was like, I almost pulled a Jim Moore on him, like, seriously? You want to watch warm-ups? Yeah, so, are you kidding me? So that kind of pissed off my uncle, too. But, yeah, crazy. So football game happened, great as always, and the Mountaineers beat the Texans 38-20. And during the halftime show, the Mountaineer band put on a Superman show, Avengers, and Star Wars, and then even got a shout out on the scoreboard from the family. So that was nice to see my name up there, and I got a couple pictures of that. Had a quick incident at the hospital. My cousin's husband only had a couple drinks, but ended up getting really sick. But he was fine. Blood work came back okay. It was just a combination of him having like a stomach flu and hasn't been drinking for a while because my cousin's pregnant. So he's been the good husband and not drinking as much either. So he was just sleeping it off, and they pumped him full of fluids. And so we were just hanging out at the hospital for a while. And I hadn't ate all day except for 2 slices of bread and the banana I had before I went. I know that's counts as eating, but when you go run the way I did, you burn it all off and then some. So we arrived to the cafeteria, and it was actually closed for 30 minutes. And I was like, you got to be freaking kidding me, because I was at the point now where I was getting hangry because I've slowly been getting back into running. I feel my metabolism returning, and I was like, come on. So we went down to the Starbucks, and I got an eggnog latte really quick just to pump me some full of calories, and then went back up to the cafeteria and just stuffed some food down, pizza, chips, you name it. I know it was all junk food, but hey, I'm on vacation. And then I went back up to check on my cousin and her husband, and he was getting ready to get discharged, and actually saw Coach Bob Huggins, the basketball coach, a huge guy. I've seen him in his presence, seen him on TV, but never been in his presence, I guess. And wow, he's a big guy, and it was nice to quickly meet him. And then so we all head out. We weren't going to go to Kaiser because cousin's husband needed to get home and sleep it off, basically, and he was fine. So Aunt head back with him, and we went back to the cabin, and we watched the Temple USF game, so I was happy about. And then my cousin's wife brought us some pizza from Mia Margaritas. It's one of those coal-firing pizza places, so really, really good. So I was happy just to kick back, and I love pizza. Oh my gosh, I can tear up some pizza, and it was outstanding pizza too. It was really, really good. I'm a pizza snob. I shouldn't say I'm a pizza snob. I can actually eat all kinds of pizza, so I just love pizza. So it was a good time. And then Sunday did not run. Forget it. That was not going to happen. So we just kind of drove around, and the title of the podcast came from this because we're getting ready to yield, and my cousin told his father, my uncle, hey, you need to yield, and my uncle said, yielding's for pussies. So he just pulled out in front of some people and took off. But we went to a local famous breakfast joint in West Virginia called Tudor's for biscuit and gravy. Oh my gosh, that was filling, and I got the carb, the carb coma almost right away. It's so 10:30 in the morning, and I am just feeling tired, but happy. We went to Dick's and hung out there a little bit. My uncle got mad because they put a pit golf bag right next to WVU, so he said something to the manager about it. So they quickly fixed that up. And then we just kind of drove around and looked at things, went by the airport, and just hung out, just had a good old time. And then we had lunch at the airport called Parker's on the Runway at the Clarksburg Airport. And, reluctantly had to say our goodbyes. And, I look forward to see them next time. I'm probably going to head out there in the springtime because I want to see a Pirates game. So Pittsburgh is only they said like 90 minutes from Morgantown. So probably about where my cousin's at, about 2-hour drive. Not bad at all. Really look forward to that. And then so that's pretty much a West Virginia trip. And then I actually had a whole week off for Turkey Day. So the week off, not officially, but boss said be by the phone, but take off. So just did some ice skating, took the girls to Universal Studios, finally shot my Glock, but only put one round through it. I bought these subsonic rounds. It's supposed to be subsonic. It doesn't have the crack of breaking the sound barrier. But you don't get the pop in subsonic, but you still get the explosion. And the 45 is a big round, and it was still way too loud. So I did one shot at my buddy's house, and then we switched to his 22 long rifle, which sounds nothing more than a small firecracker, and then just shot that instead. And then just hung out and did Turkey Day with the family, and did watch the Macy's Day Parade. Always got to watch that. And this past weekend, pretty busy. Went to Christmastown at Busch Gardens. Just really, really nice. The whole place is lit up with lights. Got to see an ice skating show. So y'all know I dig ice skating, so it was pretty incredible. And the kids got to meet Santa, which was really neat because you see them one-on-one. Yeah, you stand in a line, but you go into a room with Santa. And this was a real Santa. This was Santa. His beard was real. This was not some get-up fake guy. And my niece got really shy around him, and the other niece was just all over him. So it was nice to see Santa. Yes, I believe in Santa. You should too. That's what makes Christmas so freaking awesome. And so we did that and picked up the family Christmas tree and then decorated. And like I said, just got Christmas shopping. So Christmas shopping done. Not done, but started. I wish I had it done, but at least I got the Tennessee family taken care of. And then we'll move on to the local family and friends. News, items, and pop culture. Starting out with some movie news here. Bad Santa 2 is returning with Billy Bob Thornton, Tony Cox, and Brett Kelly. Can't wait to see that. That'll be a Christmas movie next year, the dark comedy that came out several years ago, which is crazy, but that actually begins filming in January, so we'll see that next year. 13 Hours. See the link for this. It's a Red Band trailer, so it's a rated R trailer, but looks really, really cool. Kung Fu Panda 3 trailer. Got a link below for you for that, too, if you like Kung Fu Panda. I thought the second one was a little weak, and I love the first one, so hopefully they can make up for it in this one. And Making the Force Awakens from JJ, so some Force Awakens news here that is non-spoiler, and from his perspective, he said, "We wanted to tell a story that has its own self-contained beginning, middle, and end, but at the same time, like A New Hope, implied a history that preceded it and also hinted at a future to follow. When Star Wars first came out, it was a film that both allowed the audience to understand a new story, but it also to infer all sorts of exciting things that might be. In the first movie, Luke wasn't necessarily the son of Vader. He wasn't necessarily the brother of Leia, but it was all possible. The Force Awakens has this incredible advantage, not just of a passionate fan base, but also a backstory that is familiar to a lot of people. We've been able to use what came before in a very organic way because we didn't have to reboot anything. We didn't have to come up with this backstory that would make sense. It's all there. But these new characters, which the Force is very much about, find themselves in a new situation. So even if you don't know anything about Star Wars, you're right there with them. If you're a fan of Star Wars, what they experience will have added meaning. So looking so forward to this new Star Wars. That was just a little perspective from J.J. Abrams. And the episode script is done, too. Rian Johnson is directing. So they've already actually filmed some scenes from episode 8. So they're already filming episode 8 before episode 7's even out. But for the script for episode 8 is done. I'm sure rewrites are going to be endless like they always are, but what Lawrence Kasdan, who is the writer of Episode 7, said, and I did, was to set up certain key relationships, certain key questions, conflicts, as we know, where certain things are going. And Lawrence Kasdan was also the original screenplay writer for Empire Strikes Back, which is still arguably the best of the Star Wars series, and my personal favorite as well. So little Star Wars update there, and we're down to 10 days. Woo! Finding Dory trailer is out. So the follow-up to Finding Nemo is out, and Ellen DeGeneres is back to play the lovely and the misminded Dory. So check that out. Top Gun 2 looks like it's still going to happen. Val Kilmer has revealed that he has accepted a role into the sequel to Top Gun. In a Facebook status page, the actor said that he will star opposite Tom Cruise and Gene Hackman in the sequel, adding it'll be directed by Francis Ford Coppola, the legendary filmmaker behind Apocalypse Now and The Godfather. Tony Scott, the director of the original Top Gun, suddenly committed suicide in August 2012, so unfortunately he will not be back. Kilmer also confirmed the original Top Gun producer Jerry Bruckheimer's involvement in the sequel, and none of the other key actors have committed yet, but all rumors out there. Tom Cruise says he definitely wants to make it happen. He wants to produce and star in it. I thought it was interesting that Gene Hackman's coming back because I thought he was pretty much retired. But Kilmer, if you remember, did play Iceman Kazansky opposite Cruise's Maverick Mitchell in the original 1986 Top Gun film. In June, the CEO of the production company behind the long-mooted sequel Skydance, David Ellison, revealed that a script is being written with Cruise's character Maverick in mind. Ellison said at the time, there's an amazing role for Maverick in the movie, and there's no Top Gun without Maverick, and it's going to be Maverick playing Maverick. But with Tom Cruise's age and, of course, the almost 30 years since the movie, expect Tom Cruise and Val Kilmer to be like an admiral and a leader, kind of like Viper was in the original Tom Cruise. So it'll be pretty good. They'll still be flying, but they're going to go up against the young jocks now. Alien Covenant. Ridley Scott returns to the universe. He created an alien with Alien Covenant, the second chapter in the prequel trilogy that began with Prometheus, which I freaking absolutely love. And this movie will connect directly to Scott's 1979 work of science fiction. Bound for a remote planet from a far side of the galaxy, the crew of the colony ship Covenant discovers what they think is an uncharted paradise, but is actually a dark, dangerous world whose sole inhabitant is a synthetic. So David, Michael Fassbender, who is in Prometheus, survivor of the doomed Prometheus expedition, and they are planning for 3 sequels. Pretty cool. More movie trailers to note here. Gods of Egypt trailer with Gerard Butler. Ooh, looks outstanding. I'm definitely interested in this. Captain America Civil War trailer came out. Intense again. And a Batman vs. Superman teaser clip, which I linked below for you. All right, so moving into pop culture here, a new Star Trek TV series. CBS has released official details, even without details, of a new Star Trek television show coming out. And what I mean by that, they won't tell us crew, place, setting, whatever, but they said it's supposed to premiere in January 2017 with a special preview broadcast on CBS Television Network. Then the show will then be live on the CBS All Access digital subscription streaming service. So it's going to ship to streaming. So you're going to have to get a subscription if you're going to watch this thing. Of course, I will, but that's what it's going to take to watch this new And I'll keep you updated if something comes out. But it's funny how they say official detail, but they didn't talk about anything. Timeline, crew, character, ship. Is it going to be Enterprise? Is it going to be something else? We don't know. But anyways, I'm excited. Long overdue for it. New coaster at Busch Gardens, Tampa. While construction continues in Tampa, officials with the Busch Gardens unveiled a model for the new Cobra Curse and new details about the ride in an industry trade show in Orlando. Based on the concept of a modern excavation site where archaeologists have uncovered the legendary temple of the Snake King Venomous, the Cobra Curse is designed as a family roller coaster as long as the family members are 42 inches or taller, with freely spinning ride vehicles with a 70-foot vertical lift instead of a gradual lift hill. During the 3.5-minute ride, the train speeds along at 40 miles an hour, spinning backwards, forward, and then freely with the frequency and direction determined by the rider's weight distribution. So if you got an obese person, they'll probably lean to one side. Riders climb through snake-wielding archaeologists in Egyptians type architecture. So let me see. And then, so the new ride will open in 2016, but a spokesman said Tuesday the park couldn't pin down a more precise date. And the new ticket prices went up a little bit. Ticket prices are up by $2 to $99 now. But the thing is, if you're a Florida resident, a 2016 Fun Card, as they call it, for $99, will get you in the rest of the year. So still not a bad deal. Rambo TV. So a new movie is supposed to come out, but now they're talking about a Rambo TV as well to coincide with the movie. Rambo TV series is now in place at Fox, where a deal was close to developed Rambo: A New Blood, the movie. It's unclear whether Stallone will reprise his title or role in the series, but he is on board to executive produce. However, plot details suggest that New Blood will follow Rambo and his son and Stallone is expected to appear, but there is no confirmation just yet. Jeb Stewart of Die Hard and The Fugitive will write the series exploring the relationship between Rambo and JR, his ex-Navy SEAL son. The character is completely new and has not been featured in any of the 4 Rambo movies. All the information regarding New Blood's plot suggests Rambo will be a key character. So, new movie coming out, the final one, they said. And maybe this will hand off the torch to his son, but we never heard of been mentioned of any son. He was always just a drifter and a loner in the series. But I've been a fan of the movie, and, I know 3 was kind of cheesy, but 4 definitely made up for it. Bad to the bone movie if you haven't seen it yet. All right, so let's move into some fun headlines here. Bill that would require L.A. pornographers make their actors wear condom is one step closer to making porn more realistic. Really? Apple had a cash hoard large enough to buy every major sports team in the world and would have enough spare change left over to buy General Motors. That'd be nice if they buy General Motors. That'd be a new fresh blood at that. The good news is you don't have a tumor in your brain. The bad news is it's a tapeworm. Ugh. Well, here comes the 5th horse of the apocalypse. NASA's witnessed something come out of a black hole. Target says shopping on Thanksgiving is now a tradition. Sorry, Target, but eating too much turkey and all the foods that go with it, avoiding certain relatives, and rooting against the Dallas Cowboys are a Thanksgiving tradition. Sony announces that they are finally moving on and will stop selling Betamax tapes. We'll always think of life they could have lived. That's just amazing. They're officially stopping Betamax. Okay. The galaxy has been exploding for the last 100 million years. Try and top that, Michael Bay. Terminally ill Star Wars fan dies 1 week after seeing Star Wars The Force Awakens. R.I.P. Daniel Fleetwood. Yep, J.J. Abrams and crew allowed him to see a rough edit of the movie before he passed away of terminal cancer. Such a happy and sad movie, but he did get to see it, and that's awesome. After attending all of his master's classes, a service dog is awarded an honorary degree from Johns Hopkins, mostly for his lab work. Experts claim oral sex could become the leading cause of mouth cancer. That really sucks. That does suck. I won't go into any more detail than that. Microsoft pulls the plug on Zune. So another, really? They were still making this? Sure, this may seem like a really old headline, but apparently all the work up in an alternate universe where Microsoft somehow never got around to turning the switch off until recently. And another thing I read about in the movies here, but Val Kilmer will star alongside Tom Cruise in Top Gun 2, though he can't fit into the cockpit anymore. Just a little joke. He got pretty chubby there for a while, but he's down to his old Iceman weight, so that'll work. Past month marks the 30th anniversary of the day Calvin first met Hobbes. Begin peeing on your Chevy, Ford, and Dodge logos. And Japan vows to kill over 300 whales. The Catacomb probe is going to be really pissed, and Kirk is going to travel back in time again. George Lucas tried to defend Greedo's shooting Han first and says he's avoiding the internet ever since he unleashed Jar Jar Binks. And by the way, Mr. Lucas did get to see a preview himself of the preview, actually the whole movie, The Force Awakens, and he approved. So yay to that. Thank you, George. Florida Files. It doesn't matter how untrue it is. When you're the mayor and you never want to have to hold a press conference refuting accusations that you belong to the KKK. Florida school teacher has kid realizing a hospital that will enter Florida school system in roughly 5 years. Immediately resigns, leaves resignation note that goes viral. If wandering around naked on your front lawn is wrong, this Florida man doesn't want to be right. Florida school finds a perfect way to stop bullying, punish the other kid for defending themselves. Typical. A 9-year-old boy faces sexual harassment charges if he doesn't stop passing love notes to a girl in his 4th grade class. Really? That's sexual harassment charges, huh? 10 years hurricane-free. Woohoo! Take that, Al Gore. As feds get better at catching income tax refund thieves, crooks switch to stealing Social Security checks from grandma. Very, very big problem in this state. The phrase you never want to hear, moldy breast implants. Woman decides to flee the scene of an accident, but her car's sync assist system gave the cops all the information in the matter of seconds. And the last here, prison inmates takes up hydroponic gardening in hopes of teaching them a skill that they could not possibly get them into trouble in the future. Movie review, Creed. Adonis Johnson never knew his famous father, world heavyweight champion Apollo Creed, who died before he was born. Still, there's no denying that boxing is in his blood, so Adonis heads to Philadelphia, the site of Apollo Creed's legendary match with a tough upstart named Rocky Balboa. Rocky sees in Adonis the strength and determination he had known in Apollo, the fierce rival who became his closest friend. So this movie is PG-13 for violence, language, and some sensuality. Has a running time of 2 hours and 12 minutes, and it is a drama genre. Critics have given this movie an A+. The peeps have given it an A. I'm going to give this movie a solid A. I have been a fan of Rocky ever since I can believe, and I've enjoyed every movie, even Rocky V, believe it or not. I know that was the weakest of the series, but I've enjoyed Rocky. I'm a fan of Rocky. Every movie, he always said something that was just positive and eye-opening, and I love it. I mean, I'm paraphrasing here, but in the last Rocky movie, Rocky Balboa, he said something about, it's not about how many times you get knocked down in life. It's about how many times you get up and keep moving forward. I love that because this is life, man. It's a roller coaster. We got up and down, and I was a little worried about hearing about a Rocky spin-off movie per se, and that's exactly what this was. He did not fight in this movie. He was funny at times. He played more of the role of Mickey and just helped out Michael B. Jordan's character, Adonis, to become great, and I hope there's another Creed. I hope there's Creed 2. That'd be perfect title for this to continue on. And Sly was freaking awesome. There's got to be some kind of award for him in this movie. Just a good, fun movie, and I definitely suggest you checking it out. So that's a quick review there of Creed. Health news. Coffee is good, which solidifies this. I think we've probably talking about coffee before, but every now and then let's go back to, re-talk about what's good, what's not. It's kind of like salt, right? Like 1 year salt's good for you, next year it's not. Well, coffee has been known to be good for you, but unfortunately for you people out there that love coffee, you have to drink it in black form. No cream, no sugar, nothing else. But if your daily coffee habit, here's something to buzz about. A new study finds that those cups of Joe might help boost longevity. In our study, we found people who drank 3 to 5 cups of coffee today had about a 15% risk or lower risk of premature mortality compared to people who don't drink coffee. This is one of the studies nutritional researcher Walter Willett of Harvard of Public Health. Decaf drinkers also saw the benefits because there's still caffeine in decaf. The finding published in the journal Circulation built on a body of evidence linking a coffee habit to a potential health benefits. Previous research has pointed out to a decreased risk of stroke, and there's some evidence that a coffee habit cuts the risk of type 2 diabetes. Now, of course, it's possible to overdo it with caffeine. Research has shown that consuming more than 400 milligrams of coffee can interfere with sleep and create a feeling of nausea, and some of us are even more sensitive. So I cut off my coffee at noon so I can get a good sleep. One study finds that 200 milligrams of coffee, the equivalent of about 2 cups of coffee, is an optimal amount to enhance cognitive function and mood amongst sleep-deprived people, but all of us don't metabolize coffee the same way. I know I'm definitely drinking more than 2 cups. As reported, the caffeine amounts in coffee vary widely. One analysis conducted found that a 16-ounce cup of caffeinated coffee from Starbucks could contain anywhere from 250 to 500 milligrams of caffeine. No one ever reacts to coffee the same way, says Andrew Maynard, who studies risk assessment at Arizona State University. He summarizes the benefits documented in this study as small. He said this study does not prove cause and effect between drinking coffee and living longer. Rather, it points to an association. There's a lot of unknowns on what may explain the increase in life expectancy. So go ahead, drink that coffee. All right, this one's a little nasty, but, I always got to interject some humor on this show. No pee splash. What a urinal gives in size, convenience, and quantity also takes away and bouncing droplets of hot piss back into your trousers and shoes. Researchers at Utah State, which I wouldn't be surprised if it's federally funded, are hoping to remedy the problem that makes everyone think that you have a bladder control issue by redesigning the urinal cake to end backsplash. The university's famous Splash Lab, led by Dr. Ted Truscott, has developed a new device that's being called Black Hole for Urine, an idea that 100% better than the league's pee bib. After looking at all the various existing urinal insert technology that's floating around, the team looked to the nature for inspiration. They came across a superabsorbent moss, which collects significantly larger amounts of water than its brethren. The team replicated this venture using VentaBlack, a carbon nanotube creation that lets light enter but not leave, making it the world's darkest material. The team tweaked the setup so that instead of trapping visible light, the surface would capture gobs of urine, making an artificial black hole that captures your pee. The team presenting their findings at a fluid dynamics conference last week in Boston, although we're still a way out from seeing these pop up in your nearest bar. Perhaps we can reduce the need for the hardware to be created at all by both not wearing light-colored cargo shorts and aiming ourselves a little more care in the future. Yeah, man, just aim correctly. But, got to study out there for no pee splash. So if you see a black, urinal cake in the future, that means go ahead, piss all over it. Tech news, just a couple items here. Battery power for a week. Graphene is an incredible conductor that's super thin, super strong, and super flexible, and it could be boasting your smartphone battery a lot sooner than imagined, thanks to the latest breakthrough by research. Excuse me, hope you didn't hear that too much. Just a little coffee burp there. But can you imagine having your phone run for a week without having to charge it? To this date, it's been expensive to make this stuff, but researchers at the University of Glasgow has discovered a way to produce large sheets of graphene in a much more cost-effective manner. Graphene is typically made via a process called chemical vapor deposition, which combines gases in a reaction chamber to result in a film of graphene being deposited on surface known as a substrate. The Glasgow Boffins, led by Dr. Ravinder Daiha, apparently used a similar process to create graphene on the surface of commercially available copper foils. They found that the copper surface provides an excellent medium for graphene to form on, and most importantly, it's over 100 times cheaper than the existing production methods. So basically, with this graphene, look for in the new future here a longer battery and recharge that's going to be quicker as well. PS2 games to maybe play on PS4. After some conjecture this past week surrounding the re-release of some older PS2 Star Wars games, Sony has come out and confirmed that PS2 games are coming to the PS4 courtesy of emulation. Quote, "We are working on utilizing PS2 emulation technology to bring PS2 games forward to the current generation," end quote, said Sony told Wired. Quote, "We have nothing further to comment at this point in time," end quote. I have some comment. What about PS3 games? You going to forget about that console too? Or PS1? I don't know. I guess you can't satisfy everybody, right? Not very communicative, but then that's par for the course with Sony and PS2 games on the PS4. PS2 was their most successful selling console, yet has the most games, so it does make sense to start with that and see what happens. And another, to do PS3 emulation is completely different hardware, so might be hard to do, but hey, they're trying to do because, like Microsoft, because you can play a good handful of Xbox 360 games now on Xbox One, about 100 or so, and more to come. So pretty cool. Geek Talk. Hype Girl is a Geek Talk World of the Week, and it's the ultimate turn-up girl of the squad. She's the kind of lady that gets the party going. And so putting us in it, yo, Dakota is our hype girl. She keeps it too real. So that's the Geek Talk word of the week, if you ever hear hype girl. Well, that'll go ahead and get us to the final part of the show, the song of the week. And I might have played this for Christmas last year, but I'm going to play it again. One of my favorite Christmas songs by Mannheim Steamroller. It's called Above the Northern Lights. And this comes from the Mannheim Steamroller Christmas's 25th anniversary record, which debuted out in 2009. And there's a YouTube video out there of a different artist singing it. I forgot his name, but it's done to ice skating. Really, really beautiful, really nice. And I thought it was perfect, again, for this time of the year, because I doubt I'll be doing another podcast until just after the New Year's for you to get you all caught back up on. So seeing that, I just saw that ice skate show at Busch Gardens this week for Christmas, for the Christmas celebration. I thought this would be great as well. Plus, a beautiful song. I can play this over and over and over again. Even told my girlfriend I'd sing it to her. So the best I can, at least. So that'll go ahead and wrap up this week's show. And again, thank you for downloading the show and listening. If you've got any comments, suggestions, or feedback, please send me an email at AkebonoRadio@gmail.com. We are on Twitter at AkebonoRadio, and look for any notifications on Facebook again. So I will not talk to you until the next year, at least on this podcast. And I want to wish you all a happy Hanukkah. That just started the other day. And a Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year, and hope 2016 brings all the dreams that you've been looking for. And I'm looking forward to the new year as well. And I'm not like a resolution kind of person, but, you know, it's always a new start, and a new start is a good thing. So y'all take care, God bless, and I will be talking to you soon. Later.
Above